sewing is sacred, a place for you to be with the materials, the threads, the sounds, the sights. Sewing takes in a lot of the senses and helps us come back into ourselves. And I'm here to inspire you to get started, even if it's with a little hand needle and some thread. Once you start, it's going to carry with you. I am an advocate for things that are inclusive and transcend cultures and are empowering to women. And sewing covers all of that. And I don't have a fancy studio. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 cats. And I'm here building Soft Muse Collective so that I can tell you that you don't need a whole bunch of stuff or a fancy studio either to get started. My goal is to continue expanding and growing, of course, but we don't need to wait for what we think that we need to start. So any hesitations that you've had about sewing, share them in the comments. I'd love to encourage you. I've interacted with a lot of people who say, oh, I wish I learned how to sew. And a lot of them tend to be a bit older. And I feel like they have a case of the old dog can't learn new tricks syndrome, which we know is false. Old dogs can learn some awesome tricks like sewing. And you'll be surprised at how fast you enhance your skills. It's a practice-oriented activity. And you can move as fast or as slowly as you'd like. You control that needle. That's another aspect of sewing that's been empowering women, I feel like, especially, is we've had an area of control where we get to make the decisions about how we create whatever we're creating. And then still provide for whoever's wearing that clothing. And at first, I'd encourage you to focus on yourself and making things that you like for yourself, because then that's going to teach you what you like to make, areas where you could spend more time improving, so that when you expand to offer your wares out into the world, which I'm just starting to do with my Shopify, then you'll know what you like to make and what you feel like is a sellable product. It's a lot of trial and error, and I tend to make one version of the same item in multiple ways so that I can determine what the best process is for me. When I'm looking for a sewing tutorial, often I have to go through a few before I get to one that actually makes sense in my brain. As a neurodivergent person, most likely autistic individual over here, I'm a millennial, so I haven't been diagnosed, but pretty sure what's going on. The general instructions for things often don't make sense. And I feel like there's got to be people out there who have a similar brainwave as I do that could really benefit from somebody sharing with them an alternative way to create. So that's why I'm here. I have a fancier tripod on the way that's going to give me insight and like a view onto my epic sewing cutting table, which I just scored at an estate sale a couple weekends ago. I was divinely guided, intuitively guided, which is why I know that I'm here and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Because The more people that learn how to sew and empower themselves, the more independent we can be from the systems that are very negatively affecting our world and underdeveloped communities, such as fast fashion. So I want to not only inspire you to create and enjoy a new hobby, but I'm also hoping that as a collective, we can make sure that sewing stays in the present and cool, because that's how it's been. The last thing I want to see is sewing dying out, because then we'd have to rely on machines for everything. And that just isn't smart or cool to me at all. So if you're interested in empowering yourself or others, maybe you already have some sewing skills and you want to join the party over here and learn a different way to go about it, welcome. If you're brand new, a beginner, and you want to get started with learning, check out a few of my previous videos, such as what's in my sewing bag. I also made a video about like baseline items to get started. And as always, I'm here to help where I can and hopefully inspire you to create whatever you feel called to make. And I'll continue learning right there with you. I would say I'm an intermediate to advanced sewer, but I have a lot more room to grow. I just learned how to do sleeves and start making t-shirts. I want to make more unique, intricate types of styles as well. And I'd love for you to walk with me so we can learn together, because it's really fun to connect in a community. It's like all the ladies around the quilting table working on the quilt. That's the vibe I want this to be, where it's a safe space for us to share, feel, grow, and sew. That wasn't planned, but it worked. I hope that you'll stick around, and thank you for watching.